2014 was badass. And you know what else was badass? The fucking music, man! Now forget about the radio, because here's my 13 badass albums of 2014. Number 13! Basement Jaxx, Junto. Man, I've always dug Basement Jaxx, but I haven't heard them in a long time. So when I heard they were coming out with a new album, I had to check it out. Junto kinda surprised me. Its music is a big throwback to the old school house music of the 90s. It really threw me off, but in a good way. Because we live in a time where most popular electronic music is really loud and bombastic. Now don't get me wrong, I love the loud and bombastic stuff, but it's kind of refreshing to hear Basement Jaxx keeping it old school. A lot of the songs have a worldly salsa vibe, and I dig the beat on the track What's the News. And the song Buffalo has a sweet drum and bass sound that takes me all the way back to 1995. Totally check out Junto if you missed that old 90s house sound. Number 12! Mogwai, Rave Tapes. Mogwai is one of those ultimate get-high bands. The music just goes great with a few bong rips. Now Rave Tapes continues Mogwai's trend of chilling everything out. They aren't as heavy as they used to be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Mogwai has always been experimenting with noise, atmosphere, and really moody music. So this album is my kind of evolution. Each song slowly grabs you in, and by the time it's over, you feel like you've just came back from a different planet. Check out the synth moments on Re-Murder. That totally sounds like it could be in a sweet-ass cyberpunk movie. Mogwai have always put out amazing instrumental rock music, and Rave Tapes keeps that going, with the exception of 3 songs. The track Repellish is an atmospheric number with some dude talking about backmasking on Zeppelin records.
Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, again, was voted the most popular tune of rock's history. Keep that in mind as I share this taped excerpt with you.
And on the song The Lord Is Out of Control, there's these weird-ass robotic vocals. It's really freaking trippy. Man, if you like ambient textures, moody atmosphere, and badass instrumental music, pick up Mogwai's Rave Tapes. Number 11! Austrian Death Machine, Triple Brutal. Austrian Death Machine is badass. It's nothing but loud, thrashy, heavy metal songs about Arnold Schwarzenegger movies and catchphrases. And it's glorious! Their third album, obviously titled Triple Brutal, is pretty much just like the others. Tim Lambesis digging around with guest musicians performing badass guitar solos, and the occasional track of Arnold just talking shit. There's also a great moment with Arnold Schwarzenegger trying to rap. It's freaking hilarious.
My name is Arnold and I'm here to say go! This is a love song to my beautiful Sonia. I confess my love to you.
Triple Brutal has badass songs about the Terminator, Red Sonja, Commando, and Jingle All the Way, just to name a few. Austrian Death Machine is badass, heavy, and hilarious. Totally check this album out. Number 10! Bassnectar, Noise vs. Beauty. Bassnectar is a dude that's always impressed me, and his new album, Noise vs. Beauty, is another pretty impressive release. There's a sweet mix of dubstep, acid house, and trip hop that pleases the crazy noise freak in me. The beats are loud, bombastic, heavy, and abrasive, giving you tracks that will rattle the house and blow your speakers. Now I know that dubstep is the new thing to hate on right now, but I've always dug it. I guess I like the diuretic sound of Transformers shitty. But all joking aside, if you dig electronic music, definitely give this a listen. Number 9! Alestorm, Sunset on the Golden Age. If you know me, I love theme bands. Whether it's fucked up aliens from outer space, drunken Vikings, and dumbass killer clowns, I'm all over that shit. And Alestorm is no exception. Probably the only pirate-themed heavy metal band out there, Alestorm write badass folk metal songs about stealing ships, walking the plank, sailing the seas, and drinking mead. And their new album, Sunset on the Golden Age, has badass songs about stealing ships, walking the plank, sailing the seas, and drinking mead. Yeah, it's the same shit over and over again, but Alestorm always finds a way to make it cool. This album is an epic maelstrom, swirling with heavy folk riffs, dirty pirate-style vocals, and badass accordions. It's like taking Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean and putting him in a heavy metal band. I can't recommend this album enough. Now if you do pick it up, I highly advise you grab the special edition version, because it comes with a second disc with one new song and 5 classic Alestorm tracks done with acoustic instruments. It's so awesome! Alestorm's sound really benefits from acoustic music, and I hope they incorporate more rustic, folky tracks like this in the future. So put on this album, grab some ale, and raise a glass to the sunken Norwegian, because Sunset on the Golden Age is a swashbuckling hell of a good time. Number 8, Electric Wizard, Time to Die. Hell yes, the gods of stoner metal are back, and Time to Die is as sludgy, murky, and dirty as ever. This album will make you feel uneasy, paranoid, and stoned with its slow, dripping atmosphere, psychedelic guitar riffs, and satanic samples. It's also a great album to play during the winter, especially in the South. Time to Die just goes great with the cold, wet, and rainy weather we get each year. With this album, Electric Wizard proved that out of all the classic stoner metal bands, they are the Candy Kush, the Purple Haze, and the Sour Diesel. Pure fucking quality. If you want some crunchy, slow, atmospheric heavy metal to listen to, look no further than Electric Wizard's Time to Die. Number 7, Pink Floyd, The Endless River. Bravo, man. Bra fucking vo. After two shaky albums like A Momentary Lapse of Reason and The Division Bell, I feel like The Endless River is the Gilmour-led Pink Floyd album that Pink Floyd fans have been waiting for. Too bad we had to wait 20 years for it. And yeah, I was 8 years old when The Division Bell came out, but I was digging Floyd back then. Next to all the grunge albums, that's all my mom would play. Man, The Endless River blew me away. Its 18 songs are meant to flow as little movements of one gigantic piece of music, and it does this amazingly well. It oozes chilled out, spacey atmosphere, runs into frantic primal moments, and just makes you feel good. A major thing I love about this album is that it's all instrumental, save for the last song. It lets the music build the mood and textures without any distractions. You can look at this album as one 53-minute song, or as a 47-minute intro to one track. All in all, I enjoyed the hell out of this. Now I know it's mostly fixed up numbers left off of The Division Bell, but the great thing is that I don't even hear any Division Bell on it. If anything, it reminds me of Dark Side of the Moon and Wish You Were Here. The Endless River is a massive, beautiful tribute to Pink Floyd keyboardist Richard Wright, who sadly passed away in 2008. Gilmour and Mason really let Wright's keyboard shine on this album. It's like they get to jam with a long-lost friend one more time. The Endless River is just simply amazing. Number 6, Psychostick. Psychostick 4, Revenge of the Vengeance. Holy crap, Psychostick is awesome. They're one of the funniest heavy metal bands around in the likes of Green Jello. Their fourth album, Revenge of the Vengeance, is filled with hilarious tracks and really technical metal that is highly impressive. They don't just give us funny songs, they give us funny songs with really intricately designed music. So it never gets boring. Every track on here is just hilarious. You get songs about epic beards, an awesome cover of Danger Zone with a hilarious parody of Take My Breath Away at the end. Take my breath away. A fantastic tribute to Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell, we're gonna be best friends. Gonna come to your house and watch Hercules and season 1 till the end.
And the song NSFW is amazing. You gotta love a song where the only words are fuck. And what makes the song NSFW extra special is a cameo from Green Jello's Bill Manspeaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Manspeaker of Green Jello. Fuck, 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 fuckity fuck, 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 fuckity fuck.
Also, every Psychostick album has outtakes at the end that really show how much fun they're all having while making these goofy songs.
We've experienced a tear in space-time reality.
If you haven't heard this album yet, I advise you to do so before you get trapped in a dimensional time portal. Number 5, Les Claypool's Duo de Twain, 4 Foot Shack. Les Claypool has always had some kick-ass side bands away from Primus, and Duo de Twain is pretty kick-ass. It's a country project with him and guitarist Brian Kehoe playing swampy hillbilly versions of classic Primus and Claypool songs like Winona's Big Brown Beaver and Jerry Was a Race Car Driver, just to name a few. There's also covers of other great tracks like Amos Moses by Jerry Reed, The Bridge Came Tumbling Down by Tom Connors, and The Ballad of New Orleans by Jimmy Driftwood.
We fired our guns and
when the British kept a coming. It wasn't as many as it was a while ago. We fired once more and they began to run it down in Mississippi.
I love all the covers on here, but two highlights on this album are hillbilly sheep-fucking versions of Stayin' Alive and Man in the Box by the Bee Gees and Alice in Chains. You really feel like you're in on the joke on these two songs.
We're staying alive. We're staying alive.
Les Claypool always had a down-home dirtiness to his music, and it's all over this album. It sounds sloppy, muddy, and just awesome. If you're a Claypool fan, or just have a morbid curiosity for weird shit, listen to 4 Foot Shack. Number 4, Metalocalypse, The Doomstar Requiem. Okay, I know this album was released digitally in 2013, but we didn't get the physical release until 2014, and that's what counts to me, and no disrespect to the people who downloaded the digital version. You supported the artist, but do you know what you're buying when you download the digital version? Musical air! Musical air, man! Fuck! Buy more CDs and records, people. That's all I'm saying. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, the Doomstar Requiem isn't technically a new Dethklok album. It's pretty much the soundtrack to the amazing rock opera, excuse me, clock opera of the same name. And I'm gonna say it now. This is my favorite Dethklok related album so far. Now I love the Death albums 1 through 3, but this album is ambitious as hell. I love how it's not just death metal. There's so many genres flowing through this album that every time I listen to it, I'm always finding something new. I love how every character sings on here, even down to keeping Skwisgaar and Toki's broken English on their parts. I love the orchestral music that flourishes throughout the whole album, and awesomely enough, the last song is the full orchestra on an epic 23-minute track. Man, I dig every bit of the music on this album. Brendan Small is a freaking genius. You get badass melodic metal songs, a sweet-ass dance track, and callbacks to musical numbers from songs on here and from previous Dethklok releases. The Doomstar Requiem is a big, badass tribute to rock operas, heavy metal, and music fans alike. Go get this album.
How can I be your hero when my dick is big as a shoe?
Number 3, Primus and the Chocolate Factory with the Fungi Ensemble.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the chocolate room.
There is no life I know to compare with your imagination.
It's kind of funny, Les Claypool and Primus both released albums in 2014, and both are cover albums. But this album came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting a new Primus album anytime soon, and all of a sudden, the Primus Facebook page was posting details about a new release, and I shit myself with excitement. And to make it more awesome, it would be a reimagining of the music from the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie. And then, if that wasn't awesome enough, they mentioned that Tim Herb Alexander would be playing drums on this album. This is his first full-length Primus album since '95's Tales from the Punch Bowl. Now they made this album because they all performed the Willy Wonka stuff live and it went over so well that they decided to record the material. Primus and the Chocolate Factory is pure freaking nightmare fuel. They transformed these songs into the kind of oddities that we've come to expect and love from Primus over the years. The album is laced with creepy paranoid mania and really interesting versions of these songs. There's a dark pork soda vibe throughout Primus and the Chocolate Factory that is definitely here because of the way Les, Larry, and Tim play off of each other. It just feels right. Also, this is the first Primus album where Larry Lalonde gets to sing on a track. He sings on the track I Want It Now, and it's awesome.
I want the world. I want the whole world. I want to lock it all up in my pocket. It's my bar of chocolate. Give it to me now.
His voice mixed with the weird circus gypsy vibe of the music is a major highlight on this record. I can't say enough good things about Primus and the Chocolate Factory. I can talk about it all day long. I'm glad that these three guys are back together, and I hope to get more Primus albums with Les, Larry, and Herb in the future. Number 2, Jack White, Lazzaretto.
You drink water, I drink gasoline. One of us is happy, one of us is
I'm saying it right now. Jack White is one of the most important songwriters of this generation. His music and lyrics are real, honest, challenging, and thought-provoking. His new album, Lazzaretto, takes everything awesome from his White Stripes days and his last album, Blunderbuss, and creates probably one of his best albums ever. Lazzaretto is overflowing with great southern charm, dirty rock and blues tracks, and lyrics that really stick with you. And I love how prominent the violins, pianos, and steel guitars are on this album. It gives you an amazing country sound that is mostly lost in today's popular country artists. Mix that with the heavier rock songs and incredibly sincere ballads, and you have an album that brings on many different kinds of emotions. Songs like Just One Drink, Entitlement, and Want and Able really freaking speak to me. And I also have to give props to Ruby Amanfu, Olivia Jean, and Lily Mae Reich, who perform backing vocals. Their duet-style vocals on the tracks Temporary Ground, Alone in My Home, and Just One Drink are just fantastic. I can't recommend Lazzaretto enough. If you like southern blues rock with a badass crunch, Lazzaretto has it all. Number 1, Fish, Wago. I've been a fan of Fish for many years, and I really believe that Fuego is their strongest studio album since '98's Story of the Ghost. Fuego has amazing pacing. They jam out when they need to, they sing where it's needed, and the songs are fairly long, but you don't feel the length at all. It's all really focused and really consistent. The title track is a 9-minute epic laced with awesome proggy jams and great vocals, and that's something that I've always loved about Fish. Everyone's vocals are fantastic. The harmonies are just beautiful. And you know the musicianship on a Fish album is going to be good. That goes without saying. But the harmonies help the music and overall moods of each song, making everything sound big and grand. From start to finish, Fuego never slows down. Even on the softer tracks, every song feels like it has a purpose to be here. I really love how slow and spacey the song Halfway to the Moon is. It totally feels like you're floating weightless beyond the stars. And the song Winter Queen jumps into this great horn section in the middle. Man, that sounds so British. I also love how funky some songs get. 555 and Wombat are great examples of this. Fish is great at funky music, and it's always awesome when they give us some sweet funk tracks. On the funk song Wombat, you can hear how much fun they're having by getting a little goofy.
It's kind of like the theme to the Fish TV show.
You know, with Abe Vigoda.
Fuego is filled with great surprises at every turn, and that's freaking awesome, especially coming from a band that's been around for over 30 years. I just can't stop listening to it. Fuego is awesome. So there it is, 13 badass albums of 2014. Now if you didn't see your favorites on here, just... what the fuck? Post them in the comments below and keep the discussion going. Who the fuck is this? God damn it.
Oh, what? I thought you'd get rid of what you didn't. Oh, no. Than ever.
Yeah.
There's this girl we all know way down the road and don't wanna fuck with her shit. This girl we all know way down the road, well they call her the shock of dawn, bitch. She's got every disease inside the book and oh man, she's shooting me that look. Don't worry man, you can have it for a while, cause you know me, that bitch just ain't my style. She's got her hair in a bun, you know that she'll be fun. Why don't you check her out? She's having fun on X and a little bit of meth, if you know what I'm talking about. She's in the club getting it on with 5 baby daddies just sitting at home. She wants her some action and she just might take your ass back home tonight. She's up in the club getting it on with 5 baby daddies sitting back at